This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, and you'll find out later why we say that. America's bi-state voice, not bisexual voice, by-state voice of freedom, Mark Sweetcakes Kern, and eventually you'll find out why we say that. Radical radio that my enemies don't like. But we are, as always, and proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Hey, I got up this morning, and I know my enemies wished I wouldn't. And, you know, I usually have a bad day or a worse day. And today's probably a worse day. And, you know, when you have that bad a day, it really doesn't make any difference what goes on. See, my political enemies, I get threatening letters, I get threatening calls, threatening looks all the time by asswipes like Barra Civic and Bob, I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in a toilet spray. Hey, God Sprague, I just want to know, is it true? Is it true or not? I don't know. Do you? I'm asking you a question, you idiot. Do you get drunk, pass out, piss in your drawers? That's not what a leader of the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee does, is it? Hell, I could do that. I can piss in my drawers. Wouldn't want to. Don't know why I would. But if that's what it takes to be the leader of the Democratic organization of St. Clair County, doesn't take much qualifications, does it, Sprague? Well, it doesn't with you, you asswipe, lowlife, inbred, politically inbred, stupid, rotten, what do they keep calling me? I got to write that down. Bottom feeder. What the hell's a bottom feeder? Hell, lobster eats on the bottom of the ocean, on the floor of the ocean, and hell, they're expensive. I'll take that as a compliment, you idiots. But send out some more flyers on me. I've just sent out 5,000 flyers. Sprague with his Depends diapers on. We've got some big billboards coming up with Sprague and Kern. See, it's bad enough when you expose these son of a bitches politically. But when you embarrass them personally, that's what really gets in their crawl. And they walk down the street thinking everybody's looking at them in awe. Oh, what great political leaders they are. No, they're looking at you, Mark Sweetcakes Kern, and they're gawking at you, Bob, I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in a urinal, Sprague. And don't forget John Red on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle, Barra Civic. Don't forget those guys. They're not looking at you, son of a bitches, in awe. We're looking at you with disrespect. We're laughing behind your back. Because, see, you guys think. I said think. You're not, but you think you're somebody. None of you son of a bitches have ever earned anything. You've never earned the respect for the good people of St. Clair County. Kern, his daddy give him all his money. Barra Civic has been slopping at the public trough. Him and all of his 15, 20 family members been slopping at the public trough for 25, 35, 40 years. And don't forget God Sprague. He doesn't have the guts to put his name on the ballot. He sits behind the scene. You know why Frank Bergman has that job up at the county, don't you? When Frank Bergman was the mayor, he let Sprague make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year as a city attorney in Cahokia, Illinois. And that was a payback, in my opinion, and I think I'm right. And if I'm wrong, Sprague, don't hesitate to give me a call, you idiot. You're rolling your wife, roly-poly Patty Sprague, down East Main. You know, people say you shouldn't talk about women. I don't talk about women. I'm like Trump. I don't have as much money as Trump. I got better hair than Trump, though. I don't talk about women. I talk about politicians. Patty Sprague isn't a woman. When she runs for office, she becomes a politician. When anybody, I had a problem with Amika Jackson. It wasn't that she was a woman. She's a politician. When you get in that political arena, people, black, white, men or women, it makes no difference. You become a politician, and all politicians are treated the same way. They get the hell beat out of them. So I don't want women's group or men's group or gay group saying, oh, they're talking about him because he's gay, or they're talking about him because she's a woman. No, we're talking about all of them, people, because they're politicians. If they don't want to get in the political arena, they don't want to be talked about, then stay out. Stay out of politics. Vote for who you want to vote for. Support who you want to support. But don't get up there in the ring and think you're not going to get hit. It's like two prize fighters. Get up in the ring and one of them smacks the hell out of the other one. And the guy that got the hell smacked out of him is mad. Don't get mad. Now get mad if you're sitting in the cheap seats and the boxer jumps out of the square, jumps out of the ring and beats the hell out of you. Then you get mad because you didn't deserve it. But if you're up in that political arena, I don't give a damn who you are. Black, white, Democrat, Republican, independent, man, woman, gay person. I didn't want to leave the gay people. I don't want to piss off Mark Sweetcakes Kern because I believe he's supportive of the gay and lesbian community. I don't know, but I would think as a politician, Kern, are you supportive of the gay and lesbian community? I'd like to see you flying that rainbow flag around that medical center that you say your house, and we'll talk about that at some future point in time. But people, this is politics. If you don't like it, don't get involved. And I'm not talking about the masses that vote. You people should get involved. You're the ones that should put these political people in their place. But I will tell you, I think you're somewhat at fault, people. You put political people in place, but you don't make them work. You don't make them earn their salaries. You don't do what you're supposed to do. Demand that the people that you elect do what you want them to do. They represent you. You don't represent them. When are you good people going to understand that? It's time to have a political revolt. Not a violent revolt, but a political revolt. You've heard me say it. If you own a business and you ask your employee to do something and they don't do it, they're fired. You ask them some information, you want them to tell you something, and they won't tell you. No comment, can't be reached, out of the office. They're fired. We get that from these politicians every day. No comment, can't be reached. Those people are put in those offices to answer to us, the hardworking taxpayers of this county, of this state, of this country. When did we lose sight of that, people? When did we lose sight that they represent us? You heard me. I'm running for state representative. I don't want any endorsements. I can't get an endorsement from the gun lobbyist. I can't get any endorsement from the pro-life or the pro-abortion or the anti-abortion. They've sent me letters, want to know how I would vote. What's my take? I send them all back, people, saying, I don't know what my take is until I get elected. And until I get elected and the people who elect me tell me what they want done, how they want me to represent them, I can't give a person an honest answer that I'm going to be for this. I may personally be for something, and the people in the 114th Legislative District, they may be against it. I'm going to vote against it because I represent those people. Those people will be the ones that send me to Springfield. Now, isn't that novel? Politicians get elected, they go up to Springfield, and they want to be in the good old boys club. I don't want to be in the good old boys club. I'd like to sneak in the good old girls club, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. But I don't want to be part of what I hate. big shots? Never wanted to be a big shot. I wanted to be exactly what I am, who I am. I wanted to be where I've been, and I want to go where I'm going, just like the rest of us. You only look back, people. You only look back on your lives to help your future. The past does nothing but help the future. If you understand the past, you can succeed in the future. And we've understood the past here, people. It's been corruption. It's been political corruption in St. Clair County for 30, 40, 50 years. And it's not going to get any better. They can't promise us next election it'll get better. It's going to get worse. It'll never, ever, ever get better. Hey, I appreciate all the calls yesterday. Lines are always open. We are America's voice of freedom. Definitely the Patriot. You can call toll-free 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. We're still all over this debacle, this NGA debacle. You can't believe the callers we got, the emails, the faxes, the people on the street. Everybody in St. Clair County is still numb over this NGA, this spy agency development situation. Unbelievable. Let's take care of our housekeeping. Lines are always open. Again, toll free, 1-888-394-1430 on the east side, 394-1190. Let's talk about this if I can quit ranting and raving, but we are. We're going to explain the underbelly a little bit more. And also, we want to talk about this judge race coming up. They tell me they're ready. They're ready to sell out one of their judges. These rotten bastards of St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, they're running so afraid, so desperate, they're trying to cut some deals in East St. Louis as we speak. And I will give you the underbelly of that after all this. The UCM prayer breakfast coming up at the New Life in Christ Interdenominational Church at 689 Scott Troy Road in O'Fallon. I'll get that information later. Let me see where we're at. Stand by. Only got two hands, guys. Slow it down. Tori's story, and this is serious. A Morgan family fundraiser, a spaghetti dinner, Sunday, April the 17th from 4 to 8 p.m. The St. John the Baptist Catholic Church in the Munier Center in Smithton. Adults $8, children $5. This beautiful lady, Tori Morgan, was a senior, or is a senior at Freeburg High School. She was hurt in a serious crash on her way to school on March the 21st. And like to get everybody to come out, and we'll be out. The radio station will be out there supporting this great cause. If you'd like to donate, for you good people in the Smithton, Freeburg area, you can contact Paula Farley at 340-5381, Cindy Keller at 580-7072, or Karen Walsh at 314-974-2516. And Joel Wallmeister, thank you very much, as always, for that information. The Edwardsville American Legion celebrating a Spring Rock on the Hills concert Saturday, April the 16th, with great bands, great music, and foods. Tickets are only $5. It's going to be held at 58 South State Route 157 in Edwardsville. Any information that you would like to have, any concerns, you can call 618-656-9774. Mouse races coming up Saturday, April the 9th at the Dupo Quarterbacks Club in Dupo, Illinois from 1 to 3. Shriners Concert on Saturday, April the 23rd at the Scottish Rites. The concert will be promoting the A9 Drum and Bugle Corps and the International Shrine who are the International Shrine Champions, and also the O'Fallon High School Jazz Band. If you'd like to get any information, you can contact John Blondell, the A9 Shriners PR person, at 618-874-1870. And I want to take a side note on the Shriners. And, you know, I told you, and I'm glad I thought about this, said I'm having a real bad day today. I want to apologize. No, I'm not having a bad day. I'm having a great day. I watched the Shriners commercial. And, for 28 cents a day, you guys can help a Shriner's child out. Now, listen, and I don't want to make light of the handicap. Yesterday, on that ad, it had a mother who was born without arms. She had a child who was born without arms. And they sit there and say, don't feel sorry for us. We get along just fine. We have a great life. The mother's putting a backpack on her child, her armless child, with her feet. So you think you got a bad day? And I want to apologize, man. I got a great day today because I'm fortunate enough to have both my arms and both my legs. Oh, boy. I tell you, that's what I tell you about politics, people. You don't live for politics. You live for life. But these poor people, no, I'm sorry, and I apologize. They're not poor people. These are great people. These people have all this adversity in their life. And they say what a great life they're having with no arms. And then we sit there with arms and legs and eyesight and bitch and moan and groan. It's unbelievable, people. But anyway, let's keep going. The Shriners, what a great cause. Putt Putt Pub Crawl to be held at the O'Fallon Loyal Orders of the Moose, 2608. It'll be held this Saturday, April the 9th, starts at noon. Any questions or concerns, you can call the good people at the O'Fallon Order of the Moose. Don't have their telephone number. The Ladies of Mary of St. Wenceslaus Parish in South St. Louis hosting their pancakes and sausage breakfast on Sunday, April the 17th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Parish Hall. Any information, you can contact Mary Bardot at 314-606-5584. On this date, April the 5th, 1621, the Mayflower set sail for Plymouth, Massachusetts on its return trip to England. On this date, April the 5th, 1792, President Washington cast the first ever veto rejecting a congressional measure for apportioning representatives among the states. On this date, April the 5th, 1896, the first modern Olympic Games officially opened in Athens, Greece. On this date, April the 5th, 1951, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were sentenced to death for following their conviction on charges of being atomic spies for the Soviet Union. On this date, April the 5th, 1955, Sir Winston Churchill resigned as Prime Minister of England. On this date, April the 5th, 1974, the World Trade Center opened in New York City with 110 stories. That's what happened on this date, April the 5th, throughout all these years in our world's history. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. You can go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com, one word, common spelling for the best of all three of our stations. Listen to my repeat performance every day, Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. and now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. Like us on our Facebook pages, KQQZ 1190 AM or KZQZ 1430 AM. Also, if you would, go to the Grim Reaper of Radio Facebook page, my Facebook page, or Bob Romanik for State Representative page. You can get all the information you need. I want to thank Amy Volker from Coulterville, Illinois. She wanted some bumper stickers. She's supporting me, even though she's not in the district. She loves the radio station. And Amy Volker, we thank you very much for listening, and thanks for the information. We've got some callers. Let's go ahead. Let's take a caller or two. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Oh, I've heard that Skip Kernan has hired back his 5 workers again.
What do you mean, sir? I'm not familiar with part of that situation. I know Skippy is a punk. I know Skippy's a punk, that he got elected to screw the people, not to honor our great United States flag. But what are you talking about the 5 employees?
Doing again. He just had to lay off his workers because he has too many workers.
Okay, so did somebody give him the money to put the 5 back to work?
Right.
Okay, that was done by the board, I would assume.
No, it was done by Skippy.
Well, wait, sir, how can Skippy the punk, how can Skippy bring 5 back if he can't control the money to hire the 5? I don't understand.
Well, he just did bring them back.
Well, okay.
That's all I know.
Okay.
The board hasn't voted on anything yet.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for the call, sir. Skippy, I think you have to go through the board. I don't think that's a dictatorship out there in St. Clair Township, but I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and when we do, we're going to talk about the judges in St. Clair County. We're going to talk about the debacle, this NGA and people. I'll tell you what, everybody is numb over this situation. We could have had this $1.7 billion development. We could have had the billions of dollars that are going to be the residual effects for the next 2 or 3, 4 generations of our families here in St. Clair County. I say we could have had it, but we lost it. We lost it because of the inept, the corrupt, the lack of leadership in St. Clair County. God Sprague, God Sprague. I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in a toilet, Sprague. Mark Sweetcakes Kern, and don't forget Chief Judge, who's not a judge, he's a politician, a low-life, cockroach-sucking politician. John Red on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle. We'll be back to talk about that right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice. Voice of freedom, bi-state, Kern, not bisexual, you stupid idiot. I'm tired of telling you that. Radical Radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, your guardian of the First Amendment, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Before we get to the Illinois side, hey, you sawed-off little jerk-off, no-count, rotten son of a bitch, Mayor Slay. What a piece of political crap. There was 2 more killings over in St. Louis yesterday. Hell, I used to spend a lot of money in St. Louis. Me and my family would go, and I know you and a lot of your families on the Illinois side would go. Do you know how much money Slay has cost the good people of St. Louis in revenue by not being the proper leader? Telling everyone last election that he was going to make St. Louis safe? Hell, there's so many killings in St. Louis, they're not even on. There was 2 killings yesterday. They're so immune to this and callous about this, they don't even put it on the front page anymore. Someone was killed over in the Hill area, the Italian Hill area in St. Louis. Once a beautiful, safe area. Someone was killed yesterday, laying in the street. Think their throat was slit. Someone was killed a couple blocks yesterday from the ballpark. And opening day's coming next week. And you say how safe it is? Francis Slay, you no-count, low-life, inbred political bastard, you parasitical punk. Mayor Slay, What a piece of political crap. All he talked about last election was, it's a record. If I win, it'll be a new record. The longest running mayor. You know, Mayor, the record and the legacy you're going to leave over there in St. Louis is one of the most violent cities in the country. I think it's been voted the most violent city in the United States. That's going to be your legacy, Mayor Francis Slay. But for you to lie to the people, you're as bad as Pussy Boy Maximus Vaginus Eckert, Mayor Eckert from Belleville, to tell the people of Belleville how safe it is in Belleville. I'll be damned, it's not safe to walk the street during the day, let alone at night. But that's what happens, people. These politicians, they're going to sit there and lie to you, and we let them keep lying. It's time that we put a stop to it. It's time that we put a stop to it, and we put a stop to it soon. We talked about the NGA, the spy agency. They call it the spy agency. And I read an article by the mayor of Mascoutah, Jerry Daugherty. I guess a nice man, and he was right on. And I say this because I agree with him. He said, the mayor said he had better days when he heard about the announcement the NGA was not coming to the Mascoutah area. And I'm sure Mayor Daugherty fought to get the airport's location. But it shouldn't have been all of St. Clair County. I understand the mayor of Mascoutah. If I was the mayor of Mascoutah, I'd want it out in the Mascoutah area, and I want to salute him for being a political leader who was fighting for his community, for his area. But I don't want to salute Kern and Sprague and Barra Civic. They had no alternative plans. You heard me yesterday. I laid it out yesterday, and we'll reinvent it again today. They could have had some alternative sites. They could not. They told their people it has to be in the Mascoutah area because they wanted to shore up the airport. Because if it would have been brought to the Mascoutah area, they would have said, hey, what a dumb son of a bitch Romanik is harping on the radio every day. What a dumb son of a bitch Roger Cook is harping about the airport every day. We needed that airport to shore up this NGA, this $1.7 billion development with billions of dollars of residual monies coming in for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. That was the reason, the only reason, that they only had one location. Unlike the St. Louis area, who had 2 or 3 locations, it was very well thought out by the St. Louis political leaders, unlike these ignorant, stupid bastards on the Illinois side. I had fought to get the East St. Louis riverfront considered. We sent letters out. We called Kern. We talked to everybody. Of course, they wouldn't listen because it had to be Mascoutah. And the good people of Mascoutah would have deserved it. But East St. Louis also was an area that was deserving of that development. But Kern and Sprague and Barra Civic, they wouldn't even suggest the riverfront because it wouldn't have shored up their debacle at the Mid-America Airport. That 18-year debacle, it's cost us over $500 million, people. You see how egregious they are? You see how rotten these son of a bitches are? They don't care about anything but their legacy. They don't care about anything but making them look good. They've made a mistake. It's an 18-year mistake, and they're going to continue to make it. But it fell apart when they lost the NGA development. It fell apart. Now they had no reason to say the Mid-America Airport should have been there. And I want to ask, LaToya Greenwood, she is my opposition for state representative, and I was fighting to get in St. Clair County. Mascoutah area will be my district if elected. So is East St. Louis. And either one of them would have been good, but East St. Louis shouldn't have been left out. I want to ask you, LaToya Greenwood, you proud black lady from East St. Louis, where the hell were you at? You want to represent the 114th Legislative District, which includes East St. Louis. I didn't see you fighting. You're a member of the city council, you and Roy Mosley. You stepping and fetching plantation Negroes for Kern and Sprague and Barra Civic. I didn't see you fighting. They tell me that you were afraid to say anything because the white boys in Belleville wanted it in Mascoutah. I I didn't give a damn where it was at as long as it was in St. Clair County, as long as the money came back to St. Clair County, as long as the tax base was beneficial to St. Clair County. You didn't fight for East St. Louis, LaToya. Where the hell were you at? You never once, nobody ever, other than me, nobody ever suggested the East St. Louis riverfront as an alternative. As an alternative. That would have been a true viable alternative to the Mid-America Airport location. But you, LaToya Greenwood, and your crony, Roy Mosley, the boy that's, and I say boy because that's what he is, not because he's black, because he's a boy. He's all up Kern's ass. You sold out the proud black community of East St. Louis for the boys in Belleville, for Kern, Sprague, and Bear Civic. That current leadership, along with Lonzo Greenwood, and that's LaToya's daddy, who's the president of the school board, District 189, who has destroyed the future for those children down there. Led the way not to get any development down in East St. Louis because they're stepping and fetching for the boys in Belleville. And because of this, all of us, all of the good people in St. Clair County, we will suffer the financial devastations for generations to come. But Mayor Daugherty out of Mascouda, a nice article. He says residents in the Metro East communities would welcome NGA with open arms, as would the St. Louis residents. But here's what the mayor says. He says the location near Scott Air Base was very, very secure. It had all the infrastructure. Why didn't we get it? Why didn't we get it? You people know why. And Mayor Daugherty's right. It was the best location. But here, think about it. A president, our president of the United States, Barack Obama, from Chicago, Illinois, 3.5 hours away. The second most powerful U.S. senator in the country, Dick Durbin, originally from the East St. Louis area, from the Belleville, Mascouda area, it's all in one. Those people could have been influential. But we still, think about it, we still lost the $1.7 billion development to the St. Louis region. You don't have to be Ray Charles. You don't have to be Stevie Wonder to really see why this happened, people of St. Clair County. It happened not because of all the positive things St. Clair County brought to that potential $1.7 billion development. No, we brought highways right there, 64. We brought restaurants, nice hotels. We brought safety to that area. Nobody had to be displaced. An airport right there to fly in the important people. What the hell went wrong? You think about that. That was a no-brainer. But it wasn't a no-brainer. It happened. And I'll harp on that from today till ever, because it's going to be financially devastating to everybody in St. Clair County. It happened because of the corrupt political leadership in St. Clair County, perpetuated by not the true Democrats, but the few bottom-feeding, low-life son of a bitches like Sweet Cakes Kern and Bob, I'd rather piss in my pants and piss in a toilet Sprague, and John, red on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle Bear Civic. Those are the people that helped destroy the financial future of St. Clair County. And if you rotten bastards don't think so, if you disagree, give me a call. But they're not going to call, people. They're not going to call because they know they're wrong. And you think about it, and I will harp on it because it pisses me off. The best location, the safe location, unlike St. Louis, North St. Louis, it's not safe. They don't have to displace any houses. The people over there, some of them are mad because they don't want to lose their neighborhood. Didn't have to worry about that at the Scott Air Force site. Didn't have to worry about the interstate. We had 64 right there. The nice hotels, the nice restaurants. Nobody's been killed out that way. You think about it, people. Why? Why the president didn't give a damn. Why Senator Durbin couldn't pull it off, and I'm sure he tried, because everybody knows about this culture of corruption in St. Clair County. Everybody knows, and I've been harping on it for 5 or 6 years. Now it's come to pass, people. Now I hope you understand, when you've got everything going for you and you still don't get it, there's got to be an underlying factor. And the underlying factor is the culture of corruption in St. Clair County. It's as plain as the nose on your face. You know it. They can spin it, and they're going to try to spin it for this next election. You can't spin something like that. You cannot spin something like that. It's a reality, people. It's because of the culture of corruption. There's no other reason. You couldn't get Barack Obama in his home state. You couldn't pull that off. You politicians in St. Clair County, you couldn't pull it off with Dick Durbin? No, because no matter all the good that was there for that development, and it was all good, and that wasn't because of the politicians. It's just the way it was. It was a perfect fit, but it wasn't, and it's not going to be, because of the lack of leadership, the deplorable leadership in St. Clair County. And when I talk about the Democratic leadership, I'm not talking about the proud Democrats all throughout St. Clair County, the rank and file Democrats, the 95% of the decent, good, hardworking Democrats. I'm talking about these political thieves. I'm talking about Kern, Sprague, Civic, these bastards that are running for office year after year, who have killed us financially. Civic can retire with $130,000, $40,000 a year pension, but the bastard wants to circumvent the Constitution, and he wants to run for election because he knows he can't get 60% of the vote. He says and lies to the people and thinks we're stupid. Oh, I want to get out there and I want to defend myself. Well, Civic, now you're running for election. You haven't called me to defend yourself, you rotten son of a bitch. And may I ask, Civic, and this is just a personal note from me to you, do you know a prostitute in Washington Park named Candy? I'd just like to know, Civic. I'd just like to know for my own information. John read on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle. I'm asking you a question. Do you know a prostitute in Washington Park named Candy? I think she may know you. I think she may know you.
I know a girl who's so sweet. She's so fine, you can't beat me. I want candy. I want candy. I want candy.
Yeah, Civic. Is that your theme song for this next election cycle? Running for judge. And I just like to know, John Civic, chief judge, not a judge, the chief judge of the 20th Judicial Circuit. Do you or do you not know a prostitute named Candy from Washington Park? From the Chameleon Club in Washington Park. I'm just asking for my own personal knowledge, Civic. Will you answer that question? John read on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle? You know, I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. You people will find out through this election that Bob Romanik's, maybe I am a bad guy, but I'm not as bad as the guys we're fighting. And we're going to expose these son of a bitches one after another after another. These no good, hypocritical son of a bitches, from John Civic to Rich Soje, the 5 strip club owner gentleman who's the head of the Public Building Commission that Civic put there. You know what? I don't mind bad guys, but bad guys that are hypocrites just piss me off. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. I asked my producer if he thought people now understood this NGA situation, and he said that yes. He says it's simple, like you. So I don't know if what he meant, if I give you a good explanation, a simple explanation, or I'm simple, but it is simple, people. And Mayor Daugherty out of Mascoutah. Think he's a nice guy. Don't know him personally, but I know he's concerned about his area. But when he sits there and says, in quotes, this was a shocker, to say the least. Perhaps us folks in the Metro East are biased in our thoughts that the NGA should have been located in our site in St. Clair County. But even a non-informed outsider who looked objectively at the situation would surely have given the edge to the Metro East site. And yes, we would have. And yes, they would have. But then he goes on, as everyone knows, there were several other factors that were considered. No, Mayor, I disagree with that. There was one factor, the culture of corruption in St. Clair County. That was a factor that killed this deal. The John Barra Civics, the Bob Spragues, the Mark Sweetcakes Kern, the politicians in St. Clair County are the ones that destroyed the future, the financial future of St. Clair County. I want to talk about the judges real quick. You know, since 1970, there's been approximately 8,000 judges who have ran for retention in the last 46 years in the state of Illinois under the 1970 Constitution. And now these three idiot bastard judges think they can game our Constitution and circumvent the law that was intended to guide the judges on their proper re-election procedures. They're saying they're going to run for election. They knew they couldn't get 60% of the votes. But by the way, and you heard this first now, as you always hear many political situations, you always hear them first. And when I tell you something, take it to the bank. This is more of the St. Clair County culture of corruption in St. Clair County. The St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, because they're so afraid and desperate, you know, they'll eat their own in more ways than one, I believe. And you know what I mean, and I think you do. They're going to make a stupid, outrageous political offer. They made a stupid, outrageous political offer to some of the East St. Louis Democrats. They're going to try to dump their endorsed Democratic candidate for judge, Robert Lachine, which, by the way, Lachine in French means the dog. And that's not right, because you never want to compare a nice dog to a rotten politician judge. But they want to dump. This is Sprague, Barra Civic, and Kern in the Democratic leadership in St. Clair County, or lack of. They're so afraid they're going to lose this whole election. They put a deal together, a political deal. They're going to dump Bob Lachine and pick up Lanina Kaysen down in East St. Louis. And here's their mentality. They told the guys in East St. Louis, we'll dump Bob Lachine and give you a black judge down there. But then they're demanding that they dump me and Roger Cook. Dump me for state rep and Roger Cook for St. Clair County board chairman. It's not going to happen, you ignorant, stupid, political, parasitical punks. But that's how desperate these son of a bitches are. They're so desperate they're going to give up one of their judges. And how racist that is. Hey, we're going to give you a black judge, but you can't support Romanik and you can't support Cook. They don't give a damn about the judges. They just threw Lachine under the bus. They give a damn about Kern and Sprague. That's all they give a damn about. And that shows you how they play. You idiot, you stupid St. Clair County corrupt Democratic organization. You've been exposed. And the many, many, many good Democrats, they're jumping off the sinking political ship. Now, when I talk about the corrupt Democrats, those are the few and far between. Those are the leadership Democrats. Those are the Kerns, the Spragues, the Bear Civic, not the proud Democratic Party, who I believe will come over and vote the person, not the party, come November of 16. And maybe we're not the best candidates, but we're a lot better than what the hell you have. And maybe once these son of a bitches are out of office, the next election, there'll be some good candidates come against us. And that's the way it should be. We need good people. They've scared everybody off. They've intimidated everybody off. They can't scare and intimidate me, you rotten bastards, because I don't give a damn. But can you people understand that they're so afraid? They've lost control of their organization. They lost the governor. Sprague and Kern and Bear Civic lost the governor. They lost Quinn. They lost the congressional seat. They lost the judge seat to Judge McGlynn, a good, honorable Republican judge. They lost the Board of Review. They're losing strength every day. Sprague's too busy, I believe, pissing in his drawers. He can't lead the town when he's got to change his depends every 10 minutes. So all you Democrats throughout St. Clair County, know what I'm telling you. The St. Clair County culture of corruption is crumbling as we speak. You saw what it did for the devastation of St. Clair County. Because of them, we lost that spy agency, the $1.7 billion agency, and billions of dollars in residuals to come throughout the years that would have shored up our tax base, would have shored up our economic value in St. Clair County. You can thank those son of a bitches, and we can thank them by voting them out of office come November the 8th of 2016. But think about it. Judge Lachine, been on their team for so many years. They're going to dump him, and they're going to say, we'll elect a black judge. But you got to get rid of Romanik and Roger Cook. That's how afraid these son of a bitches are. And people, we're coming after them. Win, lose, or draw, we're winners because we've exposed these no-good son of a bitches. We've let everybody know how embarrassing they are. John Red on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle Bear Civic running for judge instead of retention, circumventing the state constitution because, see, he's better than we are. Mark Sweetcakes Kern, who has no idea what the hell's going on. But he's a leader because of his money. He's the leader because Sprague put that puppet there. And then we've got Bob. I'd rather piss in my pants and wear Depends than piss in a toilet. Sprague, the leader of the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, the leader of the St. Clair County Democratic Culture of Corruption, who those three people single-handedly has cost St. Clair County $3 to $4 to $5 billion over the years, over the next years. Not counting the Mid-America Airport, throw in another $500 million. When are we, the people of St. Clair County, going to understand what the hell's going on and do something about it? And by doing something about it, that's throwing these bums out of office in November of this year. It has to be done, people. Not for the good of the political setting, but for the good of the great, good, hard-working people of St. Clair County. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, when we'll continue our quest, our journey to destroy this culture of corruption in St. Clair County and all throughout the state of Illinois and throughout this great country. We have to start here, people, and move on in your counties: Madison, Monroe, Washington, Clinton, St. Louis County, Jefferson County, St. Charles County, we're all in this together. We all have the same situation. It's the same dirty game. It's just different players. So let's all continue to unite to expose these political parasitical punks. And by the way, Bear Civic, Candy called for you, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. And let's continue to get him and the rest of these political parasitical punks in our sights, so we can shoot these son of a bitches and destroy these son of a bitches. Shoot them and destroy them politically. Politically, of course. Nothing violent ever. Politically destroy these son of a bitches right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away,